Have you seen Nicki Minaj losing her mind?
Nicki Minaj accusing Jay-Z of owing her $200 million was not something anyone expected to hear when those words hit the internet. They didn't just trend, they exploded. People weren't ready for what came next. She didn't stop at money. She hinted at dark secrets, mentioned powerful and dangerous men, and spoke in a way that felt more like a warning than a rant. Then Jay-Z's company, Roc Nation, responded not with a tweet, not with an interview, but with a massive $5 billion cease and desist. That single move changed everything. This was no longer celebrity drama. This was power versus power, and just when the situation seemed impossible to understand, Nicki Minaj suddenly went from criticizing Donald Trump to openly supporting him. That's when everyone started asking the same question. What really happened between Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z to understand how deep this situation goes?
Now, you've also said that Jay-Z, Foxy Brown, and Lil Wayne were some of your biggest influences when you were coming up. What did each of them have that you wanted to emulate?
Jay-Z, business savvy. Foxy Brown, immaculate delivery. Lil Wayne, trendsetter.
You have to rewind the clock, long before the accusations, before the legal threats, before the tension. Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z were actually cool with each other. Not fake industry cool, but real respect. At one point, Nicki looked at Jay-Z as more than just a rapper. She saw him as a blueprint. Someone who came from nothing and turned music into an empire. Back in 2010,
every label passed up on me. Every record company passed up on me. Every crew, you know, like, I'm from New York. Jay's crew and 50's crew didn't sign me. You know, I wasn't signed to Nas, and, you know, I wasn't signed to anybody, you know?
Nicki Minaj was still on her way up, but she was already showing signs of greatness. Then came Kanye West's song Monster. Nicki's verse didn't just steal the spotlight. It rewrote the rules. Hip-hop fans, critics, and even other rappers knew instantly that something special had happened. That verse put Nicki in a different category. She wasn't just good, she was undeniable. Jay-Z noticed, everyone noticed. After that moment, Nicki started appearing on the biggest stages in the world. She shared space with artists who were already legends. One of the most iconic moments was her performance at Yankee Stadium during the home and home concert with Jay-Z and Eminem. That stage wasn't open to just anyone. Being there meant you were elite. During this time, Nicki was often seen around the Roc Nation circle, award shows, industry events, performances. She moved like someone who belonged there, and she didn't hide her admiration. In interviews, Nicki openly said Jay-Z was one of her biggest influences. She talked about his business mindset, his intelligence, and how he played chess while others played checkers. She respected how he built power beyond music. From the outside, everything looked perfect. Mutual respect, shared stages, public praise. But the music industry rarely tells the full story. Behind the scenes, contracts
disrespect. Have you seen Nicki Minaj losing her fucking mind?
She's beefed with every female artist.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, her beef with Jay-Z is personal because there's money involved.
Yeah.
So
that's different.
And we haven't heard too many people talk out about it, but apparently, like, what Nicki is a legend is that Jay-Z owes her tens of millions of dollars simply because when she had that exclusive deal with Tidal, I don't know if you remember that, when Jay-Z was coming out, it was like 2015 or some shit. Jay-Z was coming out with Madonna and Draft Punk and all the biggest artists, Beyonce, Kanye, everybody was elbow to elbow, walking out, talking about we're fighting these streaming services, we're gonna create our own platform, we're gonna pay our artists more. Tidal flopped, respectfully. He sold Tidal, but he probably, allegedly, all those artists were promised a stake in the company. I'm not too sure what the stake was. I think it was like a 3%.
But that's a lot.
That's a lot,
yeah.
Right? That's a lot, especially when you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, you know what I'm saying? 3% of $1 billion is what? I don't like 30 million or some shit like that. About 3%, I'm crashing out too.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, I ain't mad at her crashing out on Hove. That's
side everything. Money flows in complicated ways. Ownership, percentages, rights, and control quietly shape relationships. Over time, Nicki began to feel that something was wrong. According to Nicki's own words, she felt underpaid and undervalued. Despite her massive success, record sales, tours, and influence, she believed the business side did not reflect her true worth. She started to feel that promises were being delayed or ignored. These feelings didn't show up overnight. They built slowly, quietly, until they reached a breaking point. When Nicki publicly claimed that Jay-Z owed her $200 million, it shocked everyone. That number wasn't random. It suggested years of unresolved business issues. Fans were confused. Some defended Jay-Z, saying such a claim needed proof. Others supported Nicki, believing that artists are often taken advantage of by powerful executives. But the money accusation was only the surface. What made people uncomfortable was the tone Nicki used afterward. She didn't just talk about contracts, she spoke about power, fear, and dangerous connections. She hinted at things that went far beyond music. She never fully explained everything. But the way she spoke made it clear she felt threatened, silenced, or cornered. At that moment, many people expected Jay-Z to respond publicly, maybe an interview, maybe a statement, but instead, Roc Nation responded legally. A cease and desist valued at $5 billion was reportedly issued. That move alone spoke volumes. It was a clear message that the situation had crossed a line, and that legal consequences were now on the table. This response changed public perception. Some people saw it as Jay-Z protecting his empire. Others saw it as an attempt to silence Nicki. The truth is, when legal teams step in, it means reputations, money, and long-term power are at risk. This wasn't about ego anymore. This was about survival at the top. Then came another twist that confused everyone. Nicki Minaj, who had previously criticized Donald Trump, suddenly started speaking positively about him. For many fans, this felt random, but in the world of power and politics, nothing is truly random. When someone feels attacked by one system, they sometimes align themselves with anyone outside of it. Some fans believe Nicki was sending a message. Others believe she was seeking protection or attention. Critics say she was being inconsistent. Supporters say she was being strategic. Either way, it showed that Nicki was no longer playing by the industry's unwritten rules. What makes this story even more intense is the emotional side. This wasn't a beef between strangers, this was between people who once shared respect and space. When relationships like that break, the damage feels deeper. It's not just business. It feels personal. Nicki's supporters believe she is standing up against a powerful industry that often controls artists through contracts and fear. They believe she is paying the price for speaking out. Jay-Z's supporters believe he is being unfairly accused, and that success naturally attracts controversy. Both sides have loyal fans, and both sides have something to lose. The reality is that the full truth likely exists somewhere behind closed doors, in legal documents, in private conversations, in decisions made years ago. The public only sees fragments, tweets, clips, headlines, but those
Nicki Minaj is not here. She is not here. She is still at the White House with Donald Trump discussing very important issues. Actually, Nicki, I have the biggest ass. I have it. Everybody's saying it, Nicki. I know they say it's you, but it's me. Wop, wop, wop. Look at it. Look at it, baby.
fragments are enough to reveal one thing. This situation is serious. Today, Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z exist on opposite sides of a silent battlefield. There are no diss tracks, no interviews, just tension, legal pressure, and unanswered questions. Their relationship, once filled with respect, now feels permanently broken. This story is not just about Nicki Minaj or Jay-Z. It's about how the music industry really works. Talent creates opportunity, but power controls outcomes. Artists can be celebrated and restricted at the same time. And sometimes, speaking your truth can cost more than staying quiet. Whether Nicki is right or wrong, one thing is clear. Challenging powerful systems comes with consequences. And when artists stop playing the role expected of them, the reaction is rarely gentle. So what really happened between Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z? Was it a money dispute that turned ugly? Was it betrayal? Or was it an artist refusing to stay silent? We may never know the full truth. But this story serves as a reminder that behind the music we love, there is a world of contracts, power, and pressure that most fans never see. And maybe that's the real lesson here. Hip-hop isn't just about bars and beats, it's about ownership, control, and who really holds the power when the music stops. Imagine opening your phone and seeing Nicki Minaj accusing Jay-Z of owing her $200 million, not a rumor, not a blog post, but a direct claim coming from one of the biggest female rappers in history. Then she goes even further, hinting at dangerous people, hidden industry secrets, and betrayal at the highest level of hip-hop. Within days, Jay-Z's company responds, not with words, but with lawyers, sending a $5 billion cease and desist. The internet explodes. Fans are confused, divided, and emotional. And just when people think it cannot get stranger, Nicki Minaj, who once openly criticized Donald Trump, suddenly becomes one of his loudest supporters. So what really happened? How did two artists who once respected each other turn into symbols of power, silence, and conflict? This is not just rap beef. This is about money, control, fear. And what happens when someone decides to stop staying quiet? To understand this story,
I don't know what to say, but I will say that I
I am probably the president's #1 fan. And that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's gonna motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen.
We have to go back to a time when none of this existed publicly. There was a period when Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z were actually cool, not industry fake cool, but real mutual respect. Nicki was coming up, hungry and fearless, and Jay-Z was already a legend, a businessman, and a blueprint for success. At that time, Nicki did not see Jay-Z as an enemy, she saw him as inspiration. In 2010, everything changed for Nicki Minaj. Her verse on Kanye West's song Monster shook the entire music industry. Every rapper on that song was already famous. But Nicki's verse stole the spotlight, even seasoned legends admitted. She dominated the track. That verse was not just a moment, it was a statement. It announced that Nicki Minaj was not here to compete, she was here to take space. Around this time, Nicki openly spoke about her influences. She said Jay-Z inspired her business mindset. Foxy Brown inspired her delivery, and Lil Wayne inspired her creativity. She respected Jay-Z's intelligence, his strategy, and how he turned music into power. This respect was visible. She shared stages with him, performed at massive events, and stood alongside him in moments that felt historic. One of the most iconic moments was the home and home concert at Yankee Stadium, where Nicki performed alongside Jay-Z and Eminem. That stage was not for regular artists, it was for icons. She also appeared with Roc Nation artists at award shows like the 2012 BET Awards. From the outside, it looked like Nicki Minaj had entered hip-hop's highest circle. But hip-hop is not just music, it is business. And business is where relationships often begin to crack. Behind the scenes, contracts matter more than applause. Ownership matters more than cheers. Publishing, masters, percentages, and control decide who truly wins. Over the years, Nicki Minaj started speaking more openly about artists being mistreated by the industry, especially women. She hinted at unfair deals, disrespect, and powerful people deciding who gets protected and who gets ignored. Fans slowly noticed something strange. Nicki stopped being public.
So why now have you been involved with speaking about politics? What was kind of the turning point for you? Yeah.
What was the turning point? Well, I just got tired of being pushed around. Sometimes you just get tired of it, and then you realize, wait a minute, I have something inside of me that's stronger than what's out there. That's right. So when you've had enough, you realize, wait a minute, why do I even care about these people and what they think? Who are they? They don't even know who they are. So I'm not gonna back down anymore. I'm not gonna back down ever again.
Amen. Associated with Roc Nation, there were no collaborations, no friendly mentions, no.
Oh, Gabby Poo, it only gets worse from here for you, buddy. It's the end of the road for you, my love. Get on the nearest jet ski and let that beautiful hair blow in the wind. It'll make you happier than this race that you will not win. Enjoy life. Peace.
Okay. One more.
Why not? Imagine being the guy running on wanting to see trans kids. Haha, not even a trans adult would run on that. Normal adults wake up and think they want to see healthy, safe, happy kids. Not Gav, the Gav nots. Gav not in, Gav out. Send in the next guy, I'm bored.
Explanations, just distance, and in the music industry, silence usually means something went wrong. At the same time, Roc Nation was growing into a massive empire. Jay-Z was no longer just a rapper, he was a billionaire businessman, with influence in sports, politics, entertainment, and global culture. With that power came control. Some artists felt safe under it, others felt trapped by it. Nicki Minaj has always valued independence. She built her career through personality, risk, and direct connection with her fans, the barbs she never liked being boxed in or told how to move. That difference in mindset may have slowly turned respect into tension. For years, nothing was said openly, no diss tracks, no interviews, just quiet separation. But Nicki kept talking about the industry, about gatekeepers.
I know that you are getting a lot of backlash from your own industry. What is your reaction to that?
I didn't notice.
Amen. I feel the same way. When people are like, what do you think about them? I'm like, I don't think about them.
Bingo. We don't even think about them.
We don't have time to. We're too busy building, right?
Yeah, we're the cool kids.
Okay.
The other people, they're the ones who are still just disgruntled, but really they're just disgruntled with themselves. They are angry with themselves, you guys. So you can't wake up and think about somebody who is determined to just stay mad. I literally tell them, stay mad.
Amen.
Stay mad. Because we're going to stay joyful,
Yep.
and peaceful and iconic and smart.
Yes.
And we're going to stay thinkers. In a world that doesn't want us to think, we will think. By ourselves, on our own, we will continue to think.
About blackballing, about people with power silencing others. Still, she did not name names until she did. Out of nowhere, Nicki Minaj made claims that shocked the internet. She accused Jay-Z of owing her $200 million. She hinted at betrayal and suggested that very powerful people were hiding uncomfortable truths. She did not speak like someone chasing attention. She spoke like someone exhausted from holding things in. The reaction was instant. Fans argued. Media platforms panicked. Some people defended Jay-Z, others believed Nicki, but everyone listened. This was not a normal celebrity argument. This felt bigger, darker, and more serious. Then came the response. Roc Nation reportedly sent a $5 billion cease and desist. Not a tweet, not a press release. Lawyers, that number alone sent a message. It said, stop talking or face consequences. For many fans, that response raised more questions than answers. If nothing was wrong, why respond with such force? As the controversy grew, Nicki surprised everyone again. She began openly supporting Donald Trump. This shocked her own fanbase because she had criticized him in the past. People asked why the sudden change. Some believe Nicki felt attacked by powerful elites and saw Trump as someone outside that system. Others believe she was simply rebelling against industry pressure. Whatever the reason, it added another layer to an already complex story. At this point, the story stopped being about music. It became about power, about who controls narratives, about who gets silenced and who gets protected. Nicki Minaj, once seen as a collaborator and admirer of Jay-Z, now stood as a challenger to the system he represents. Jay-Z, known for moving silently, chose not to speak publicly, letting legal action do the talking. This situation exposes a larger issue in the music industry. Artists create culture, but corporations control money. When artists speak up, they often face pressure, isolation, or legal threats. Nicki Minaj has one of the strongest fanbases in the world, and that gives her a level of protection many artists do not have. That power makes her dangerous to systems built on control. The real question now is not who is right or wrong. The real question is why this is happening now. Why after years of silence? Why at this stage of her career? Is Nicki Minaj exposing something the industry does not want discussed? Or is this a personal battle that finally reached its breaking point?
Well, that it's okay to change your mind. Yeah. It's okay to change your mind. You don't have to, sometimes there's a lot of things projected onto you when you change your own mind. They project fear, shame onto people who don't think and do as they think and do. But I've traveled the world. I've performed for huge crowds all around the world. And no matter how many songs I do on that stage, it didn't mean as much as this. Because this is a direct link for younger people. This is a direct link between young people and God. And there's been a lack of that. There's been a lack of that.
History shows us that when artists stop being afraid, systems start shaking. Nicki Minaj is no longer playing nice. Jay-Z is no longer responding with words, and the industry is watching carefully. Because this story is not finished, not even close. And now, every move Nicki makes is analyzed, every tweet dissected, every public appearance scrutinized. The tension between her and Jay-Z has become a symbol of something bigger. The clash between individual artists and the empire that profits from them. People are asking, how does someone go from sharing stages and celebrating milestones together to making claims that shake the foundations of the industry? It's a reminder that fame and friendship rarely mix perfectly when money, power, and influence are involved. The music may be the art, but the contracts are the battlefield. And Nicki is stepping onto it without hesitation. Meanwhile, fans are split. Some see her as a fearless truth teller, unafraid to expose corruption and demand respect. Others see her as reckless, risking her reputation and career for claims that are difficult to prove publicly. Yet, regardless of which side people take, one thing is